Now, after a fashion, and the bridesmaids are those seagulls. A lovely lady is making her first exciting journey across the blue sea. Her heart beating faster and faster. Or put less romantically, a new ocean liner is going through her trials. But why be unromantic when the liner, every inch of her, is such a lady as Oriana? A lovely ship with the name that Elizabethan poets gave to their queen. She's unique. From those fiberglass lifeboats, the biggest ever molded in one piece, to her sheer line and the slope of her bows. At the table, ship owners and their team of experts faced a problem. How to make a ship of the size they required travel smoothly at over 27 knots, a speed that could normally be economically achieved only by a bigger and longer ship. Only the naval architects could solve the problem with a revolutionary hull design. The contract drawing, the first sketches of the by-tension testing devices to a traveling gantry, showed the experts how the hull should be shaved and refined for top performance, a sort of waxwork rehearsal of what welded steel would one day do. But what when the weather is foul? A wave-making device shows how the ship will ride 40-foot waves. Dirty weather indeed that had called for spectacular sea-keeping qualities. You can glimpse the future here in this tank with a ship-shaped toy that responds precisely as the real-life giant of tomorrow will do. They tested the model, shaved it to an even better shape, continuously checking by slide rule until they could claim perfection. The graceful shape of the liner-to-be was worked out on what was virtually a toy ship in a very scientific bath. It's not easy to realize how elegant, how feminine a ship will seem when she's afloat, because it's a rough, tough, strong man's job building her. Right from the moment the job numbers daubed on the first plate. 1061. That's the lady's maiden name, believe it or not. She'll be Oriana only when she's wed. The hull planned in prefabricated units, each weighing up to 40 tons. Shipwrights like Abbottson there would call the cranes with his whistle, or once the keel-laying flags were away, with choice curses. And they'd haul the units into place like pieces in a giant's construction kit. These welders have, to a large extent, turned riveting into shipbuilding history. Men who've been building ships for generations work metal like those wax models in the test tanks. Work it and then drill it as easily as wood. No, there's nothing ladylike here, where brawny men turn blueprints into steel honeycomb, where seasoned craftsmen bend metal into sheer beauty. The ship manager constantly keeping a watch on the work. Now the prefabricated parts are hauled out to this giant's playpen round the building slip, where a new generation of monster cranes can pick them up like parts in a do-it-yourself kit. It only takes 300-odd sections to create the complete hull of the ship. It's model making on a truly gigantic scale. Tank side brackets and protruding frames close in for the welders to join them together, section by section. And now a 40-foot deck plate swings into position for the automatic fuse arc welders to get busy. Spot on. Meanwhile, the fineries. All the rich silks, the monograms and embroideries. Rich fabrics require the right blueprints too. Now the turbines. Superheated steam drives them at up to 10,000 revolutions a minute. In all, there are over 26,000 delicate blades of stainless molybdenum steel. One of the two main gear wheels. Weight, just 60 tons. Something curvaceous in this clanging workshop. A raw hint of the loveliness there'll be when the welding's done. Soon, elegant travelers will dine here in the restaurants to be. They'll remember Edek, perhaps, for blood melon served with ginger, while one of the welders remembers the blood blister he got blowing that aluminium superstructure off. One of the twin propeller shafts will be housed here when the bossing has been bored out, to drive Oriana at 27.5 knots. This is what will give Oriana poise, the stabilizer that controls her rolling. Fins 13 feet long, like this, at either side. And now, remember how they settled the shape of this bulbous bow unit months ago, shaving away at that wax model back in the experiment tank? That's light aluminium alloy. By using this instead of heavy steel for the superstructure, the designers were able to add an extra passenger deck. Gulliver performed feats like this by hand in Lilliput. That's one of the two tourist car swimming pools in one great welded unit they're swinging aboard. Quite suddenly, so much is happening. The port propeller, 19 feet diameter, 28 tons of manganese bronze, with a thrust of 160 tons, that'll churn the blue sea behind her into a river of foam. A sea where aluminium takes over. Above B deck, no more steel is used. Oriana has secondary propeller assemblies as well as her two main ones, so that she can do delicate maneuvers in narrow waters and glide gracefully into any berth. For these, she has steel casings across her line at bow and stern, the equivalent of a built-in tug at either end. That makes her captain the first man who can stand on a liner's bridge and say, "Full speed, sideways." A load of plumber's pipes goes aboard, the scuppers. Things are getting more nautical now every minute. Winches, bollards, bulkheads, capstans, guffs, and larboard jiboobahs. This is the vocabulary of the sea that the promised bride is acquiring.